We have more this morning on the province's electricity ties with Montana. U.S. trade representatives have called the relationship unfair, and it's been listed as a trade irritant in the broader context of our trade relationship with the U.S. Now, last week on the Eyeopener, we chatted with our Alberta Utilities Minister, Nathan Neudorf, about his visit to the state amid this tension. He reiterated the province's stance that Alberta is treating its neighbor fairly. Now, to get the stateside point of view, we're joined now by Daniel Zolnikov. He's a Republican state senator from Montana. He's the chairman of the Senate Energy and Technology Committee. How would you characterize the relationship between Montana and Alberta's electricity grid?
Overall, I'd just say take a step back. Our entire relationship is pretty good, right? We're very similar, have similar perspectives. On the grid, there's an issue of when Alberta overbuilt their renewables, it affected reliability. So then there has to be a transmission that's saved in case there's basically an imbalance. How that impacts us is if we're used to exporting everywhere, unless we need some imports, of course. But if we're exporting energy and then all of a sudden at the Canadian border, they say, no more, we have to save all this extra transmission. Well, then that impacts the reliability and the predictability of being able to trade north, which then there are people who want to invest into more transmission and have more trade with you guys with energy. Can't do that if we don't know what's going to happen today. So there's some issues there, and we have to work through it.
Okay, well, say some more about how you would propose to work through that, because the premise off the top was that Alberta's renewables are overbuilt. Obviously there would be different perspectives on that, but what do you see as the path forward then?
Well, I would say it's overbuilt based on the transmission available, not that you have too many renewables, is that you have too little transmission or it's congested, so then you're saving it, when typically if it's open and available, others would be able to utilize it to trade. So what then happens is, since there's basically almost call it curtailment, or you're saving it, then instead of seeing it as an opportunity, we say, oh, it's an unpredictable business partner when we're going to export energy to Canada. So who's going to invest into that second or third line up there? Well, that's what I want. I think the best solution is we have to build more transmission. Transmission will only be built if it's predictable of what our business partners or our partners up North Canada are willing to do. And if they curtail first thing as a solution, no one's going to build. Thus, it's a circular problem. So is that clear?
Yeah, no, I think I got what you're saying. I mean, let me lay it out from this side of the border and see if we're talking about the same thing. Like, Alberta's position is that it treats Montana like everyone else. Now, that's a fairly sweeping statement. There's this balance here related to renewables, as you point out, between making sure that our system here is stable, which largely stability relies on our natural gas power plants, and not, shutting those things down, turning them back on. And this means it's not always kind of the cheapest electron that we go for, but in fact, the kind of goal is this baseline stability. Does that make sense? Do you accept that as an explanation?
Yeah, but the reason you need that stability, or the reason you're aiming for the stability and have issues with it, is, again, you overbuilt one resource and underbuilt the transmission, which means you're saving transmission space that is typically allocated to the market. So you're cutting that off. When we're trying to purchase transmission north, you're saving it to ensure you have reliability.
Yeah. When you say transmission, are you talking about the single transmission line across the border?
Yeah. Well, not just a single one. From my understanding, and again, I do Montana politics, not Alberta, or energy, but it's basically more the congestion within your grid. That's what's being
right. And then the first thing to go is, or among the first things to go is power coming north across the border.
That's right. And then if you don't know, because of, you don't know what congestion is going to happen and what you're going to save in Alberta, and then it prevents us from sending energy over there, then that's basically, that's the political, or the unpredictability, that you can't invest in new transmission if this is how it works. Basically, the solution you asked for is all we want is in Alberta to put it into code or law of what the standards are going to be by a certain time so everybody's on the same page. We can't depend on a letter written by a minister somewhere to be followed through. We need something a little bit more firm, and then I think everybody will be on the same page, and it's easy to go from there.
Our minister was just in Montana. You did not meet with him, I understand. How did you guys miss each other?
I didn't even hear from. I didn't know the minister was coming down. So it sounded like the minister talked to the Chamber of Commerce, which has nothing to do with really this. So I don't know who directed the minister, but it seemed like he talked to the wrong folks.
Well, I'm feeling like a matchmaker here. You guys ought to talk to each other. But so again, the part of the challenge here is the premise is, as you stated, is that the renewables capacity on this side is overbuilt. Like, what do you think? What are your hopes for how that would be addressed in a way that's favorable to this? Trying to create some certainty for investors on your side of the border.
Yeah, so it's again, some people, this is not an attack on the energy resource, but when you get a different type of resource like renewables that are less predictable, right? You can't just turn it on and off like a gas plant.
That's right. Yep.
Then you need more transmission because now you need to be able to pull from all over the place of all different types of renewables, wind and solar. It's blowing over here, not over here. So you need basically a very large upgrade of your transmission, more capacity, more lines. We're looking at that in Montana. Where can we connect to? Who can we connect to? Including Canada, right? Like Alberta is a huge opportunity for us. Nobody's really talking about it because there's this issue, but I think it's a huge opportunity. So I don't care what the resource is, but you need to make sure the infrastructure matches it. And that's the issue that I think you guys have to deal with. I don't know if your folks are saying the quiet part out loud, but yes, they invested a lot of an energy resource. Now they have to invest a lot in the infrastructure, and they didn't do that. And it's affecting the relationship. It's that simple.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm just saying what I know. I'm not trying to carry water for the provincial government here necessarily, but the minister and lots of people have identified these technical issues with the transmission lines, the transmission capacity here, and also specifically the single line between Alberta and Montana. The minister has put a price tag that the fix on this could cost 500 million Canadian dollars, I expect. When you think about investment, how should that be paid for?
That's an interesting one because it could be a private line, a merchant line, or you could have a utility line that then the ratepayers pay for. There's many options for that. I know that there are merchants looking at it where they build the line, they own the line, and then they charge for the usage of the line. Well, no one's going to pay for that line if they don't need it, but if they need it, like a toll road, then they'll pay for it. And that's probably the best route where it's not just put on the citizens or the ratepayers or the utility customers. Sorry, again, I don't know how Alberta's method is.
So, I mean, in some ways, this is an infrastructure challenge, which that's masquerading as a trade challenge. Or how? I mean, I know your purview is you're a state senator, you're the chair of the Energy and Technology Committee, but I mean, this is also now being invoked in this broader, fairly complex, quickly changing trade relationship between the two countries.
It is fascinating because Montana and Alberta, and now it's one of the 6 issues that are looking to be resolved between the U.S. and Canada. That is, we've never really been, especially an issue like this, spotlighted. If you can hear the background, my 2-year-old woke up, so I'm sorry about that.
No, that's understandable, no problem. And maybe that gets us just about up to time. But I mean, let's go out on this. What needs to happen? What do you want to see to rebuild or fix the relationship? I mean, for one thing, one of you guys, I guess, should pick up the phone. But what's the plan?
I would say the best thing is just whatever the plan is, which it seems like there is one in the next few years, put it into code or to law. That's all we're asking for. So then we're on the same page. If you can't meet it, you can always adjust the law. But if it's gone to that level, everybody's on board. Everybody knows what the plan is. If it's just a letter written by the minister or someone else, it's just not. It can be changed. There can be a new person in that position next week. It's not enough. So just a little bit more surety of what the plan is, and I think that will cool a lot of concerns.